All right, all right, all right. We are live. We're just getting started, so bear with us for 1 second as we start prepping to get our live going. Welcome to the podcast, guys. If you are just joining us, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms. We're not only on YouTube, we're on Rumble, we're on Instagram, TikTok. We are on Facebook, Spotify, Threads, and also X. The Podcast Guys 5 on X, the Podcast Guys _ on Instagram, Rumble, TikTok, and the Podcast Guys on Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. So make sure you check us out there. Welcome, welcome. We are just getting started, so Rob will be here momentarily. If you guys would be so kind to like the video, hit that notification button, subscribe, and feel free to comment as we discuss what we're going to discuss now in our live. We're going to get into what we got into last time, just a little bit deeper, which is the future of dating in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, and what's going on now that's going to affect that moment in time. So basically, what is it going to look like down the line? Is the future of dating looking bleak? Is it looking good? Is traditional dating dead? Which way are we looking? So that's what we're going to discuss and kind of debate here. If you guys want to say something, feel free to do so. You can comment in the chat. If you want us to highlight or mention one of your comments in the chat, feel free to send in a super chat just so we can separate your comment from the other comments. Of course, if you don't want to do that, that's fine, but we may not touch on your comment if you don't do so. So welcome, Rob.
What's up? How's everybody doing?
We are, again, the Podcast Guys, Rob and Nando, here to help you guys out. And we are going to get into the future of dating. So the future of dating, how does it look? Well, in my opinion, it doesn't look too good.
Well, look, I actually wanted to start with this, right? Let's just look at the last 3 to 5 years. What do we know about how women approach dating and how they view most men nowadays? The reality is most women want nothing to do with most men nowadays. Forget dating and relationships. Most women want nothing to do with the average guy. Most women, the more attractive they are, especially, is when they're going to go after the top 1%ers, 5%ers. A lot of women are into traveling now and experiences, and they all want to be social media stars. So that's already happening. Where is it going to go in the next 5 to 10 years? That's going to be today's topic. We're going to go through a list of things that we see changing over the next few years. And I'll tell you, the first thing that I think is going to happen is dating, as time goes along, is going to just become more and more transactional. We're already at that point where, if we're being honest with ourselves, dating really has nothing to do with feelings and romance like we saw in movies, or how we saw our parents and grandparents dated, right? Our grandparents, when they met and dated, maybe back in those days, it was about romance and monogamy and having a wedding and a family. We don't live in those times anymore. So I like to just start with that.
Absolutely. Before we get into it, thanks to Lance X DDYT. Thanks for the gift. We really appreciate it. Yeah, guys, it's really something that, as you look into the future, what do we see, right? What do we see? We don't see much good. And I have a stat here that I mentioned the last time, that a study predicts that by 2030, about 45 to 50% of women ages 25 to 44, working women in the U.S., will be single and child-free. That is freaking scary, to say the least. And it's not good. It's not good when women act the way they act. The numbers don't lie. You can see that women are single. I don't think single by choice. I think they're going to be single. They're not going to have a choice. Men don't want to deal with these women that are giving them a hard time.
Yeah, and I could tell you, I'm 39 years old, and a very strange trend that I'm seeing now is you're starting to see a growing number of women that really don't even have any interest in the traditional relationship or marriage in the terms of like buying a house, having kids, staying monogamous, and living your life that way. A lot of them think that that's just not how they want to live their life anymore. And they I don't know if it's like they see that as boring or like they just want to, like, you hear that all the time where they're like, oh, I want to live my life and just, live my best life. And I get it. Like at a certain age when you're in your 20s, go ahead and do that. Nobody's telling you to like lock down a relationship with a single man at the age of 22. But I'm 39 years old and I still see women my age doing this. And when you talk to them, they don't really have any urgency, or it doesn't sound like they have any interest in necessarily wanting to lock down a relationship with a single guy because they're enjoying being single. And I think that's where we're at. And women might not want to admit to it because what women say and what women do are two different things. Like if you guys get a chance, go check out some of our full length videos where we have women on and we discuss these type of things with them and you'll see their answers. I think women don't want to admit to it, but I think deep down inside, they prefer being single and they enjoy the freedom that comes along with it.
Yeah. And if you think about it, those women that are older, right? You're looking women past their 30s, 35, 40, into their 40s. They're acting like women would when they turn 21, when they get their first drink.
Yeah.
Maybe get their first drink. They probably have a fake ID and do that beforehand, but they get their first drink. They go out to the club. They start getting invited to the VIPs and the yacht parties and all that. And they take that on and they continue that. And women in their older age, they still act like they're that 21-year-old party girl that they were when they were younger. They still act like that older and think like it's the same, but it's not the same. Mm-hmm. Because men aren't going to look at them the same way. Men are going to look at them like, well, they're pretty much ran through. I don't want to deal with this woman that has plenty of baggage over the years, has built up a lot of trauma, a lot of headaches that she's going to bring to that guy. He doesn't want to deal with her anymore. And he's going to go for the girl that's in her prime, 21 to 25, 26 at best in that case. But
yeah, plus, most men don't want to date somebody that's going to be a hassle, right? Like if the girl has like a tendency to go out a lot, and that's what she likes to spend her free time doing, going out to bars, clubs, getting attention, that's not material for a relationship. And I think most men understand intuitively that that's just going to be a disaster waiting to happen. How can you date a woman that goes out and parties? And like, to your point, I understand at a certain age, I'm not judging anyone. If you're 21, go and do your thing. We all did it. But like, we know women that are our age and they still act like that. So that tells me that,
and older too,
they want to be free, single, and enjoy that experience, and they have a hard time letting that go. And you'd be surprised how many women at that age, we're talking 35 plus, are still like that.
What would you say, Rob, about this? Women that are older, right, in their 30s, they're trying to settle down, but they still want to keep that side of them going. They still want to keep that life going, that party life, or maybe not even party life, but go out with their girls, have those girls' nights, still go out to restaurants, fine dining, drinks, etc. But they still have their guy. Maybe they have a long-term relationship, boyfriend, or maybe they're married, and they still want to keep that going. Does that make sense? Should women be doing that? What's your take on that?
That's not going to work because, number one, a lot of arguments in relationships, a lot of problems start with jealousy or lack of trust, right? One or the other accuses each other of cheating or texting somebody. That's just like the beginning of the end when you start arguing over shit like that. If you're in a relationship, or even worse, you had a marriage and you're still going out like that, the relationship's going to end, and it's going to end on bad terms because it's just a matter of time before you guys are arguing. And look, let's be honest. If a girl, I'm not saying that all women will cheat just because they go out. It's not really the point of what I'm trying to say. If she goes out that often, it's just a matter of time before the relationship ends over. Either she will cheat or the guy's just not going to tolerate it.
Yeah, and what I notice a lot is that women, especially that have a man, they have kids, and they're still going out and they're still doing these things. And what ends up happening? What's the risk of that? The risk is that they go and cheat with some other guy. they're unfaithful, infidelity happens. And it's really gotten to a point where it seems like it's out of control. I think it's out of control. I think men need to take more control as well, because of course, like we said last time, you could put the blame on the women, which women have a lot of blame to take upon because they're the ones that are doing it. But men are letting it happen. Men are getting into these relationships knowing how these women act, knowing their character, knowing that they may go off and possibly cheat on them because they have him as someone that they can control, and the man is letting them control them.
The pattern that I see over and over again, and this is like especially between ages of like late 20s into early 30s, a lot of the times it's the woman that used to be a big party animal. She used to be big into going out, clubbing, drinking, so on and so forth, the party type of person, right? In that era of her life, she's hooking up with anybody and everybody, right? The fuck boys, the chads, random guys at clubs. They get to a certain age and then they say to themselves, oh shit, it's time to settle down. I got to take my life a little more seriously. Now they're in another chapter of their life where they realize like, okay, it's time to start thinking about other things, career, house, kids, so on and so forth. And that's when they switch it up. And a lot of the times you'll see that they'll actually end up marrying kind of like a regular Joe Schmo. And it's not because they just decided that they find that guy attractive all of a sudden. They know that he's a safe bet. And like to your point, a lot of guys get screwed that way because they'll end up marrying like an ex-hoe, a retired hoe, because maybe they just don't get that many women, and finally an attractive woman is in their life. So they say, okay, you know, we've been dating for a year, 2, 3. I'm going to get married now. You trust her in that sense. And then the real her will come out sooner or later. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And the guy doesn't stamp that out if he knows he's getting into a serious relationship with this woman. And if he doesn't take upon, we say a lot, the masculine role, he basically is assertive with the fact that, hey, if we're going to date, you're not going to do whatever you want to do when you want to do it. It's going to be something where I'm happy with what's going on, you're happy with what's going on, but it's not going to be one person taking advantage over the other person.
And honestly, you shouldn't even let it get to that point because, like I said, if you're dating a girl short term, you're just having a kind of like a casual thing with her. It doesn't really matter what her, you know, you hear a lot of podcasts about body count and things like that. Is it really that important in the short term? Like if we were to go out and hook up with a girl today, does it really matter what her body count is? No. But if I'm going to take her seriously as a long-term relationship, potential marriage, of course it matters.
Well, what do you think now, turning this over a little bit, having fun with women? Are these women mostly that are out here going out, having fun, partying, talking to men, seeing men and whatnot, are they just worth having fun with? Are they worth getting to a relationship with? Does it depend? What's your take on that? Is it better to just have a good time with these women and not wife them up?
I think that you should treat women the way they treat you. If you could see that she's clearly the type of person that just kind of jumps from like dick to dick, doesn't take any guy serious, then you should just what's the saying, like play it as it lies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to like we've been doing episodes for the last 2 years on topics like this, and I don't want to send a message out there where it's like, oh, you know, you should treat women poorly. And we'll get into this topic too about the whole nice guy situation. And I think a lot of guys take that out of context because they say to themselves, oh, women don't like nice guys, so that means I have to be a scumbag. And it's not exactly how that works. We'll get into that. But what was your question a second ago? Like,
No, as far as these women nowadays, should we just, as men, enjoy women for fun, have fun with them, and not take them seriously? Recreational use is a term that's thrown around often. Is that something that men should look forward to now in the dating world, or should men still try to get into a long-term relationship with these women? What's the best route?
I think the first thing you mentioned, that's exactly how men should play nowadays. Look, you'll notice that a lot of men are in this era now where they're really focusing on finances, the gym, being in shape, and they're kind of avoiding the whole. We read all the comments and like we watch other channels and we see what men are writing, and generally the answer I see is men don't want to deal with any fucking stress or bullshit in their life. It's either like it makes me money, or I'm focusing on getting in shape, or anything else that's gonna like make you a better person and add to your life. I hate to say it or sound like I'm complaining, but a lot of these women bring nothing but problems into your life.
Big problems too.
They bring nothing but like, if you have a peaceful life right now, go date some bimbo and then watch what happens to your life in the next 3 or 4 months. You're gonna have drama, arguing, cheating. She's gonna press your buttons, piss you off, shit test you. This is just the reality. And this is like, today's topic is like, where is dating going in 5 to 10 years? That's what you can expect 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, and I think women drive men away from their potential. Men have so much potential. They are trying to get better in their life, making money, building their status up, going to the gym, their wardrobe, how they smell, their hair, their confidence, and all that. And then once they get involved with the woman, it takes them down from what they're becoming. Basically, they're going ahead 10 steps, and then once they're with a woman, it takes them back 30 steps. So they go backwards big time. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be a woman coming into the man's life, and if he's 10 steps ahead, she should be pushing him another 100 steps ahead.
Yeah, 100%. And I see this a lot too, is like, and this is true for both men and women. They'll get into a relationship and they'll just start to let themselves go. And typically the way that looks is like they'll get lazy. They'll start to put on weight. They spend more time in the house, and you start to shy away from the things that you used to be focused on. So that's very true. If you're in a relationship, don't let that happen, because again, like if you let yourself go, what's going to happen eventually is you're going to start to get bored of each other, lose attraction. And again, that's just the beginning of the end. I see it all the time.
So what can we pinpoint or kind of start doing a checklist of what's ruining dating? What's one thing that's causing all this to?
First and foremost, it's social media. First and foremost, it's social media, and I'll tell you why it's ruining dating. Because before social media really blew up like that, women had to rely on in-person interactions to get attention and validation from men, right or wrong.
Right.
If they felt like, okay, I need some attention and validation, they had to dress up, put their makeup on, and go out to the nearest club, bar, lounge, rooftop, whatever. Now, think about it. Put yourself in a woman's shoes. You wake up, you look at your phone, you have a DM from a guy with 100K followers. You have a DM from a tall, good-looking guy. You have a DM from maybe a guy with a blue check, a athlete or something. And then another 30 DMs from just some random guys that are trying to get at you.
Yeah.
You post a picture in a bikini and you have 100 likes. So all the validation is coming from especially Instagram, right? So that's what's ruining dating, because look, what's another thing we always hear is like men don't want to approach women in public anymore. The traditional approach of like walking up to a woman, introducing yourself is kind of dead. I don't blame men for not wanting to do it, because again, social media kind of killed that. These women don't want nothing to do. If they don't find you attractive, they're gonna say you're a creep, right?
They are.
You're not a creep if you're 6'1" and attractive. Then you could say hi to her and introduce yourself. But if you go up to her and introduce yourself, and she doesn't find you attractive, and men understand that, and that's why they're not approaching women.
It's one of those things where social media is fake, right? Social media is superficial. Social media just kind of puts out the positives out there in people, and it really doesn't show what's going on behind the scenes. Does this person really have it together? Do they really make the amount of money that they actually make? Do they really have what they actually have? And it's all fake when it comes to social media. On top of that, men are flooding these women's message inboxes and their DMs on Instagram. They're swiping right all the time on those dating apps, Tinder, Hinge, Bumble. They're trying so hard to do it through a superficial mechanism, while the best thing to do would be to, in real time, in real life, go out there and meet a woman. And it might be tough to go directly to her, but if you're with a group of friends and there's someone that you don't know, a woman you don't know, and you like her, say hello, start talking to her, have a conversation. Maybe it takes off. Maybe it works out. But men depending on social media, I don't think is really doing them any favors at all, because there's many, many men, as that song goes, many men, right? In that inbox, in that woman's inbox, and she's entertaining multiple guys because she has those options. So I think that's one thing that is ruining dating. Women are flooded with options, so they don't know what to do, right? Even the women that are 4s, 5s, and 6s, not the prettiest looking women, maybe not the smartest looking women, then they can improve on that. Not saying that they can't, but they're getting the attention too. So it's kind of like, well, men, are you going to do the right thing and start talking to these women in person and stop wasting your time? Because that's what a lot of guys are doing. They're wasting their time talking to these women. They're not getting anything back from it.
DMing a girl and trying to shoot your shot that way only works if you are like a standout guy. You have a very high follower count. You're famous. You're an athlete. You're somebody important. Then it could work. But for most men, DMing a girl or fire emojis, liking her footage, that's just not going to work, because you have to understand, again, going back to what I said before, the amount of attention that these women are getting, we cannot even fathom it, because our Instagrams as guys don't look anything like that. We might have a couple memes, some DMs amongst our friends, and that's it. There's shit. I'll give you a perfect example, right? I know this girl. You'll know who I'm talking about in a second.
Oh, let's see this. Okay.
She has a very attractive body, ugly face. She's like a butterface. She has like that horse-looking face, right? She's a little bit on the spectrum.
I hope she's not watching this.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so too.
Or
I'm not gonna say any names.
Or she doesn't watch it later.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Very attractive body, ugly face, horse face, a little bit like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but like when you talk to her, you could tell she's not all right up.
Say it. Fuck it.
And we were having a conversation, and she starts telling me that every time she travels to another country, and she's been pretty much everywhere. She's been to like Ibiza, the Dubais, the fucking Greece's, everywhere. And she starts explaining to me, she's like, I've never gotten attention like this before in my life. When I'm in the U.S., like, guys don't really hit on me as often, this and that. So even ugly women, okay, have it easy, because they're either going to get the attention online, or they're going to travel, fly out somewhere, and guys are going to get at them. I think a lot of the problems we have here, I'm not saying that this isn't going to apply in other, countries. I think a lot of this is a Western, like a U.S. issue. Because
definitely.
Look, this is maybe another episode that we could talk about this, but you guys know what passport bros are, right? Men are going to other countries and having far more success in Europe, South America in general, Colombia specifically,
Philippines, Thailand.
Yeah. One of my friends just got back from Thailand. He had like an amazing experience there, and on top of it, it costs like a tenth of what it does here. He didn't have to like play these games and like make six figures and be 6 foot tall and blue eyes, all that bullshit. That's something, the problem we have here in the U.S.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I think that's a huge problem, and I think men, depending on the women here, is what's taking them, kind of robbing them of the fun in dating women. You can't even approach these women without it being a problem. You can't even say hello.
Yeah.
Like in the comments, some people are saying, yeah, you could say hi, but will they say hi back?
Mm-hmm.
Or will they call you a creep? Or will they try to meet to you? Which is very sad, because at least you can give the person the time of day, give them a chance maybe to win you over, and see if you can take it to the next level. See if you can get that walk in the park first date officially, or that eventual coffee date or the dinner date or whatever it is, and then eventually get down and dirty. Later, it doesn't have to be the first couple of dates, but later on, as you are getting to know each other and building that relationship to a serious relationship. But that's not the case. Men don't even have a chance to say hello.
Yeah.
And when they say hello, they get pushback after pushback. So what are men doing? They're backing off. They're saying, I want peace.
And honestly, look, I can't blame any guy that decides to do that, because honestly, it's probably your best bet. Like I said, going out of your way to make women a priority and approach women and like try to get them to, it's not worth it anymore. I think most men will agree.
Yeah, and I think that's why guys are making sure that their passports haven't expired, and that if they have expired, renew them for another however years they renew them, 5, 10 years. I think it's 10 years. And going back out and going to those Colombias and going to the Philippines and going to Thailand, because here women are showing, here in the West, in the U.S., women are showing that men don't have a chance with them. It could be the top tier woman, the hottest woman out there, the 9.999, because again, there's nobody's perfect. So we could say 9.999, or that she thinks she's a 9.999, or the woman that's a 3 and a 4 that still gets a handful of DMs. You know, she may not get as many as the 9s, but you know, she may get 10 compared to the 9 that gets over 1,000, you know?
You know what always makes me laugh is like somebody will always step forward and say like, oh well, you know, passport bros isn't the answer because if you go to another country, they're just trying to use you for your money or your papers. Who cares? What do you think the women here are trying to do?
They're trying to use you
Here
for
it's
your
the
money.
same shit, just like times 10. Because here they're gonna try to get the whole 9 out of you, the house, the kids. Then they're gonna divorce you and screw you over and take you for every penny that you're worth, and then spread gossip about you. I don't care if I go to Colombia and a girl wants me for my American money or because I have papers. Who cares? It's not. I don't take that personally at all. I'm more interested in can I go out and have a good time with attractive women and not deal with this bullshit that's going on in the U.S.
Of course. And we're not just sitting here trying to go off and complain about women because I'm sure there's
No, no,
some
no, it's
women
not.
watching in the chat, but we're letting women know that men are aware and men are making the adjustments they need to make in order to get a woman that wants to be with them. What are those adjustments? They're going away from women in the West, and they're going to women that are actually going to give them the time of day, right? Because if men get the time of day, that's a respect that women are showing men that the women don't give here. That's one thing. That's where it starts. The hi, the hello, and the hi back, the hello back. How are you? Tell me a little bit about you. Tell me some of your interests. And you go back and forth, and then you build something if there's an attraction there. Obviously, you're not going to be attracted to every woman, and not every woman is going to be attracted to every man. So it's obviously not going to be 100% foolproof. It's not going to always work out. So we get that. But when you try in other places and you actually have a chance versus here in the West where it's remotely barely any chance you got, then you're going to try where you have some sort of even remote opportunity to be able to take a woman out and eventually be able to get her for some fun time, for some fun night out, and then some fun time in bed, hopefully.
Somebody said women in other countries respect male figures. Absolutely. There you go. Look, the way I see it, if you go to another country, right, you're experiencing a new place. You're going to experience new culture, food. You're going to see new places, and the women are just like an added bonus, right? I think when people hear passport bros, they think like, oh, you're going to that country just to bang girls,
Just to get women, just
sex
to fuck
tourism.
women. That's it. That's all you guys want to do. No, I mean,
If I get to go to another country and experience an entirely new place, something outside of what I'm used to and where I spent the last 39 years, how can you be against that? You know what I mean? And like somebody just said, like other countries, at least for now, the women still value men and they treat them.
100%.
We had, go back and watch one of our recent episodes. We had two girls that were born and raised in Colombia sitting right here. And they told us, like, we asked them straight up, like, if we were to go to Colombia, what can we expect? And the first thing out of their mouths was, you're going to feel like you're a celebrity with how women treat you there. Just how they talk to you, how they
That's it.
treat you. They still have that traditional, like here, God forbid you say, you know, I know it's like a meme at this point, like where you say to a woman, like get back in the kitchen, make me
Yeah.
a sandwich. It's kind of like a meme at this point. But over there, that's how it still is. A lot of countries are still like that.
It's traditional, right? They're following the traditional route. While here, it's pretty much almost ceased to exist at this point. There's barely any tradition, and if people are going that traditional route, they're trying to make it work. But you can tell by the stats, right? 50 to 60% of the divorces going on, and most of them initiated by women. The traditional route really isn't working. People just kind of want to do what they want, when they want, whenever they want. I would say, of course, both men and women, but we could put the blame mostly on women here because they're the ones who are causing the divorces. They're the ones who want marriage. That's the crazy thing to me, right? These women want marriage, but then they end up getting divorced. Isn't it supposed to be happily ever after?
Yeah.
The thing is that it doesn't seem like women try to keep the relationship together and keep it working. It seems like women are very fast to be like, oh, that's it. I'm going to end it because I don't like something that he said. I don't like something that he did. I think women need to, if they want marriage, then I would hope they would want it to work. And I'll tell you some that may not want it to work and the reason why they don't want it to work, but you'd expect that women would want marriage to work and have a wonderful, loving husband that they care about, that they actually love, have some kids, have the house and the white picket fence and all the dreamy shit. But it doesn't seem like women want that. And on top of that, it seems like women want to get into marriage for business. Why? Because if you get divorced and he has or makes more than you within the marriage, then for the most part, there's a high chance that women's going to walk away winning with most of his shit.
I when it comes to the whole marriage thing, I believe that what women want is the wedding itself. That's the part of it that they care about because it's their opportunity. It's that one day where they get to show off, right? And just so you know, weddings nowadays can easily cost $50K plus. Videographer, florist, renting the place. It's like a $50K plus ordeal. I have heard of weddings being $100K plus. I mean, we're in Jersey. I'm sure it depends where you are in the states. You know what city you're in, so on and so forth. But they want the wedding. I don't think it's even about the marriage. They want the wedding for one, and women do have a biological need to eventually have kids. I think that's just built into them. I remember talking to a married guy at my job actually, and he leans into me and he was like, "Don't get married, don't get married." And I was like, I kind of laughed it off. I was like, "Oh, like why? Like why do you say that?" And he goes, "Once you have kids, it's no longer about you. They don't give a shit about you. It's like
Of course.
they just and when the way he said it
course.
to me, I was like, shit, like." And I get it because you have kids and you're in her eyes, your role is already fulfilled. At this point, your job is to just pay the bills and help them with whatever they need help with. It's not about your needs, your sexual needs, how you're treated. And that's how a lot of these
They don't care.
these divorces end.
They don't
like
care.
you said a minute ago, women want the wedding and the marriage, right?
Yeah.
Then why do 70% of them end the marriage? All of a sudden, it's not good enough 5 years later because fucking they got bored or they lost interest and they want something else.
I'm sure some people say it out there too, but I like to say women like to be brides, not wives, right? Women don't like to give a damn about their guy. They get into it because of their own interest. They don't get into it because they love their boyfriend or, some people call it partner. You shouldn't be calling somebody else that you're dating a partner because that's kind of like a 50-50 relationship type thing. It's like, it's no good the way things are going. There's
Look,
all
prime
these,
example. Look at Steph Curry and Ayesha Curry, right?
yes,
I think we
Great
nobody.
example.
He doesn't need to be introduced, right?
right.
She went on a podcast and starts talking about how I never really intended to get married and have kids, and I'm thinking what's the next chapter in my life, and I'm like, the next chapter in your life, like you married like a rich famous NBA player. You have a lifestyle that most people can only dream of. You have kids. You have everything you could ask for and more.
Everything.
And you're over here complaining on a podcast, embarrassing your family and your husband, and talking about what's the next chapter in your life. Realistically, it's probably divorce, and he's going to be the one that's going to get screwed in it because that's how a lot of these like celebrity marriages end up.
And I kind of want to feel bad for him, but I don't because he has it all. He gave it all to her, but he didn't put his foot down when he needed to put his foot down. You can't tell me that she has been respecting him throughout all this time within their marriage. I mean, you're going out on a national, I think it was a national TV show or some podcast or something.
Yeah.
And I think it was a podcast. But you're going out there and it's gone viral that she didn't want to get married. She was tugging on a ring. She didn't want to have kids. It's like, wow. I can't imagine her kids watching at home saying, wow, mommy didn't want me. Like, that's horrific to think, if you think about that, right? I mean, this is why we're out here saying what we're saying, because some of the things that women are saying is just outrageous. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Look, if Steph Curry can't even keep his wife happy, right? How the hell is an average guy supposed to like compete? When you have anything and everything, you're rich, famous. Like that woman doesn't have to worry about finances for the rest of her life and her kids' lives. They're financially secure. And you're gonna go on a podcast and talk this bullshit. She should have had that conversation with a therapist because maybe she was like feeling a certain way and needed to let it out. She should have went to a therapist and had that conversation in private.
I mean, even therapists are a scam, but yeah, I mean, that could have helped her a little bit. But even look at the Tom Brady, Giselle Bündchen situation, right? They divorced a while back, but this guy was a 7-time Super Bowl champ. male model, whatever, rich, all these things, and she broke it off. They broke it off because he was always on the football field or whatever he was doing. Women get something from men and they want more, right?
Yes.
You can't be satisfied. I mean, if Tom Brady can't satisfy his woman, if Steph Curry can't satisfy his woman, multiple time champions, rich guys, high value men doing what they're doing, and then their women are not happy with them, what more can you do?
This just proves the point that, you always hear women talk about, like, I need a provider, I need a real man. You could give a woman everything and more, and she'll take it all and then move on to the next guy just because she got bored. And it's kind of human nature. Like, once you get what you want, you end up wanting something different or more of it. Like, you could apply that to anything. Money, you buy a house, later you want a bigger house. And with women, it's especially true because they're marrying celebrities and then they still sit back and go like, what's the next chapter for me? Like, what?
Yeah, yeah. And another thing before I get into it, make sure you guys, thank you for supporting, watching, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing more. We have actually a video dropping tomorrow with a couple ladies tomorrow night. So make sure you keep your eyes on that. And the next thing that's ruining dating is fear of commitment, right? And the fear of commitment is from women and it's also from men. But can we blame men for being scared to commit to a woman that they think may go off and cheat?
I think the whole, women accuse men of that all the time, that men have a commitment issue. I don't believe that men have a commitment issue at all because, like we said a moment ago, it's women that are leaving men in these marriages. If it was the opposite way around and 70% of men were ending marriages, then I'd say something different. But I don't think that men have a commitment issue at all. I think when women say that, it's just the man they're seeing doesn't see them as a long-term partner. Maybe they're hooking up and dating, but he knows, like, I'm not marrying this broad. That's not commitment issues.
Yeah. I mean, you can't commit to somebody that you don't feel confident is going to commit to you, especially when you're married. I mean, what we hear all the time is men getting married with their woman and they don't even want to be intimate with them.
Oh, yeah. Very common, yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
You're married and you have to beg for sex.
Yeah.
Right? That's insane. Like, women should be wanting to give that to you. It's just that, again, going back to the men and the way they approach things, yes, they married the woman, but that does not guarantee you anything romantic, especially once you have kids. All I hear is there's no sex, there's no romance when there's kids once in a while, maybe on the guy's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But how can a man commit to a woman to any woman when there's nothing guaranteed? There's no romance guaranteed and there's no quote unquote love guaranteed. We like to say that men love women, right?
Yeah.
They'll always give their all to love women, to do what it takes to make her happy. But it's the other way around. Women won't love men, and they'll only give in to men based on what they can provide. So it's conditional.
Yeah.
Resources, time, energy, money. If they can get something from the guy, they'll give in a little bit, but will they give in fully? I don't think so. And that's why there's fear of commitment. I mean, it's I can't blame guys for not wanting to commit. They rather go have fun with some Colombian in Colombia or with some girl in Thailand. I mean, it's understood.
Like you said before, honestly, I think the best way to play it as a man nowadays is, like, number one, first and foremost, money, right? You got to have a job and focus on your money, focus on saving and investing. That's first and foremost, because without money, you're nothing in this world as a man, for sure. And the second priority would be getting in shape, working out, whether it's lifting weights, whether you do CrossFit, staying active and being in shape and, like, being a healthy weight and just being physically attractive is always a plus, right? Like, that's kind of a no-brainer. But chasing women and, like, making them a priority nowadays is just, you're gonna screw your whole life up trying to chase women, because the way things are now, women don't give a shit about most men.
Yeah,
They have enough free attention. They don't need
women
an
don't
average
like
Joe
most
Schmo
men.
from their town
Women
taking them on a date to fucking Olive Garden, because they're getting, and I was telling you that story before. This doesn't just apply to super attractive 8'9s. It's the average women. It's the overweight women. They're all expecting princess treatment too. Where does this all come from? From people simping, from people over pleasing. They're getting all this attention on social media, and it inflates their sense of self-worth. A lot of these women, when you listen to how they talk about themselves, they think they're something special, and that's where that comes from.
Yeah, most women don't like men at all. They just feel like they have to deal with them so they can get what they want. And that's the unfortunate thing, because that's what makes a relationship very fake and artificial. And that'll slide us into the next thing that's ruining relationships is the societal norms. So what's that? So the switching of the gender roles.
Yeah.
Right? So men acting like women, women acting like men. More specifically, how so, right? Well, women are making all this money. They're buying properties or apartments, or they're building their wealth, which is great. Women have to live, they have to do their thing. Everybody has a right to do that. Let's make that clear. But they make that top priority over becoming a mom, having a family, having kids, becoming a wife, which is more fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like to women, it's not as fulfilling as going out and making all that money. Meanwhile, they're turning men into women. They're turning men into weak men.
Mm-hmm.
They're keeping men from, I barely see guys that used to work out, that used to get in the gym and go out and do all these activities, be quote unquote the hunters. Now they're holding these men back. They're holding these men down, and men can't be men anymore. They're pretty much feminized. So, what's your take on that?
A lot of women are focused on education and career now, if you haven't noticed. It's been that way for a good amount of years now. Women prioritize. They would rather stay single and childless and focus on their career. And a lot of these women have it's gone to the point where they have like 3 master's degrees because that's what they've been told to focus on. And I blame feminism for that, because feminism started as this like equal rights movement so women can vote and get paid equally, which is fine, but it's turned into something completely different. Now they're on their high horse, like they're trying to become the next Jeff Bezos, and they're completely forgetting what their true purpose is about. That's how it seems to me.
And that's the problem, that they end up getting to that point, and then they start complaining, where are the real men at? Why aren't men asking me out? Because men don't ask men out, right? Men ask women out, and by women acting like a man, well, men that want a woman, they're not gay, so they don't want a woman that has a male attitude, that is way too assertive, way too dominant, that is making too much money. I mean, and women want men that make either as much money or more than them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that, well, if a guy is making 50K and she's making 150K, that guy is going to not feel too confident about approaching that woman and trying to have a conversation, because if he's smart enough, he would know that it's not going to go anywhere. The conversation's not going to go anywhere, because she'll eventually weed it out and find out that, well, this guy doesn't make as much as me. So am I going to carry this guy? Am I going to be the man in the relationship? And that's where men have to step up as well. I mean, men can't put the blame just on women, because we get a lot of haters. A lot of people say, oh, you guys hate on the women, you guys blame the women, whatever. No, that's not the case. We know that men have to make money. We know that men have to build their status. We know that men have to build their confidence. And it starts with the men. If men weren't, let's say, paying for OnlyFans, right? They're making women rich like that. They're paying for OnlyFans, and they're losing their masculinity because of that. As one example. If they didn't do that and they focused on investing into their money that they make, hard-earned money, into properties, into stocks, into something else besides inflating a woman's ego, I think they'd be better off, and they'd have a bit of more positive life. And then it would come around where women are coming up to them. Well, not necessarily coming up to them, because women don't ask men out. They do, but very rarely. But they'll start giving them signals to come talk to them, that there's interest in them. And I think, that's the way men have to approach it, is to work hard, make as much money as possible, and take care of themselves, so women can come up to them and really, they can get an opportunity to get into a relationship that way.
Women generally want somebody that's more successful than them naturally. So
100%.
as women, and I just want to make this clear, I'm not telling women not to, I don't want to send the wrong message that women shouldn't get educated, get degrees, and have careers. That's not what I'm saying. My point is, as women start to make more and more money, their taste for higher and higher men is going to increase. Because now the women that used to make 50K a year, maybe they make 100K a year now. So they don't want the guy that makes 60, 70, 80 anymore. Now they want a guy that makes 150 to 200. I know women personally that I've known for years. They don't even want to look at you if you make it than less than 100K.
Of
And it
course.
has, and just another thing for you, just so you understand, because maybe some of you were like in your early 20s or even younger. Just so you understand, after a certain age, it's not about your looks or your height. It's purely about money. You get to a certain age. I remember a girl sent me this like as a meme one time, where it said something like, "After 30, there is no ugly or good looking. It's broke or not."
Yeah.
And that's the truth. After a certain age, it's not about the looks or your game or any of that shit. It's, do you have a career and a future, a financial future, or not?
100%.
That's the
100%.
truth.
And just to take it over to the comments just for a second, this podcast is the podcast, guys. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We are Nando, Rob. We are the hosts of the show. We have women come on the show. We go live like we're doing now. We have debates and sometimes we chat with you guys in the chat. Not every single time we pinpoint the chat because sometimes there's some crap that's said on the chat, which is cool. You guys can say whatever you want. So if you want us to highlight something in particular, feel free to send in a super chat. We'll take a look and answer your question. But make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video. We have also some influencers coming on. We're going to be talking about the Akash situation.
Yes, that's going to be our next episode. Yep.
With Czar of Dating. So check Czar of Dating out. He's going to be coming back onto the show probably this week or next week. We're going to be next weekend at, if you guys follow one of the ladies that come on the show, because for some of you guys that say we hate the ladies and we're not supportive of the women. Yes, we do. We're going to be traveling to Sasha Prentice's, which is one of our the ladies that come on the show. We're going to be traveling to her TikTok shop to help her promote her items that she sells, including the colognes and perfumes that she has there. So follow her. And again, any comments that you guys want us to highlight? I'll definitely mention too that somebody said while you're in your 20s, focus on your money, young men. And that is true. I think there's a lot of guys that waste their 20s. They have fun, they party and all that. There's a time and a place for that. I don't think that your 20s is it. Of course, have a good time. You're young, you're in your 20s, of course. But in your 20s, that's when you have the most energy. That's when men, you got to get out there, work hard, start trying to be possibly an entrepreneur, because these 9-to-5s ain't doing it anymore. Shift away from that and stuff that, we've done in our past. And now we've turned it into the podcast, guys, this podcast here. And we're trying to help people. That's our thing. Find your niche, get into that, and build on that. And that's something that you should do in your 20s, because that's when men should definitely take advantage of that time. That's when you have the most energy and time in the world.
And look, at that age, I'll be honest with you, everyone's gonna work like some bullshit job at some point. Like if you're flipping hamburgers, flip the shit out of those hamburgers and stack your money. Like when I was in my early 20s, the biggest regret I have isn't like how I really necessarily spent my time. It was not saving my money and investing my money from an early age. Because when you start to look into investing and how like compound interest works, those hundreds or a couple thousands of dollars that you begin to save over the years will compound into tens of thousands of dollars. And when you're in your 30s, you're gonna have a head start rather than starting at zero at a later age and then trying to figure it out. So don't worry about like if you have like some BS job in the beginning. Save that money and invest it. Don't keep it in a regular savings account. Throw it into a high yield savings account. Let it compound.
And obviously, I mean, maybe the ladies out there don't realize this, but we're trying to bridge the gap between men and women. But we focus on the guys and making money and dating and working out, fitness, nutrition, and whatnot. Mostly dating, as if you've seen our episodes before. That's kind of the main thing that we hop on. But our goal is to shortly bring on some guys that have careers that can show men how to make money. I think that's going to be huge for the guys. Thank you, Daddy Liquor 8 for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's very important to, build on all facets for the men. And I think the younger you do it, the better off you are. I mean, just talking about, let's say, real estate, for example. I've talked to some people in the real estate industry, and they mention becoming an agent in their 30s, maybe 40s. Some of them say they wish they would have gotten their real estate license
Yeah.
at 18 when, legally you're able to get it.
Great move.
Huge, because at least you start getting your feet wet with real estate. Even if maybe you don't become a big time agent, you have a couple of sales here and there. At least learn the process of buying a property, the process, the whole thing. Because I've been through it myself, of looking for properties, running numbers through, negotiation, submitting an offer, and then going through the under contract process to closing, and of course inspections and all that. I think that's very important. So start early. Don't waste time. And I commend the guys that I see, a lot of the young guys in the gym working out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that are really picking up, not only on our stuff, but are picking up on the podcasts out there. And which is something that we're glad to be able to help with. We're glad for men to be able to pick up on the advice that we're giving them and take advantage of it for themselves and make it a positive in their life.
Yeah, and this is why I think moving forward, we'll do more of these kind of like sit downs where we go live and just discuss certain topics. Because if you look at we've been doing this podcast for a little over 2 years. April's going to be 3 years.
Yeah.
And for the most part, we bring guests on. We discuss this as a group, right? There'll be 4 of us, 3 of us, and we'll discuss dating topics with women. But sometimes it's good to just sit down and talk about this like one-on-one and, listen to some of the comments and react to you guys. So we'll be doing more of these kind of like one-on-one lives at least once a week.
100%. Thank you, Shogun Flame 9406 for the thumbs up and your comment. Honestly, girls come and go, but if you accidentally have a baby with the wrong woman, that can slow down the progress in your life. Be smart and financially responsible young men. Of course. Oh my gosh. Of course. You don't want to have a baby with the wrong woman, or I don't think you want to have a baby with a woman until you're ready. Even if you think she's the right woman, make sure you're ready. You're financially ready. You're mentally ready, emotionally ready. And I think that's where a lot of people run into a mistake, that they get it with a woman, they have a kid, and then they're working their way up. They're basically digging themselves from underground and trying to get back to a level playing field where they don't have to live below their means. They don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. So I think that's very, very important for guys to really, really remember, because yes, it may be we see some people say, yes, it's common sense, it's straightforward, but why are still some men making that mistake, having kids when they aren't ready? So, we're reminding, you may understand that. You may know not to make that mistake, but there are guys out there that may not have somebody to look up to and realize that this is a mistake that shouldn't be made. So, thank you, Kool-Aid Master 111 for the gift there. Really appreciate it. So, I think it's a good thing that we're doing, and hopefully the men are picking up on it, and hopefully the women are picking up on it too, because we truly want to help them. As much as women see like, oh, these guys are hating, these guys are against us, we love women. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I don't, it's ridiculous when people, women say that. We're trying to help men do better so women get a quality guy. And women hate on that. It's unbelievable to me.
Podcasts like ours and some of the much bigger podcasts, I'm sure you guys have watched some of them. I won't say their names. A lot of the times this stuff gets misinterpreted as misogyny. Misogyny is pure direct hate for women. That is not what we're about at all. That's not what we believe in or what we speak about. So
if we hated women, would we have
somebody just said one of them. We watch them too, and they get called misogynists all the time. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, we've seen them. But will we have women on the show if we hated women that much?
No.
We don't hate women. We bring the women actually we invite women to come on to, hey, say your piece, debate with us. Let us ask you questions and let's see what you're able to bring to the table, right? Because women say, well, we bring a lot to the table. So why don't you bring what you have in mind to the table and let's have a debate. Let's have a friendly debate. I think that's something that and we're gonna keep that going. We have guests coming on right now. We have a couple in December. We have a podcast dropping tomorrow. So we're excited about that. We're building up. And Shotgun Flame 9406. We do need a mod to block the spam. I know. Yeah, we got to get that. We got to get on that. It's only keep in mind that it's just Rob and myself. We're the two guys running the show, and we've built it up to what we have built it up to this point. And I think we've done a great job, and we're just going to keep getting better. It's just going to keep improving. And, the fact that we've been able to get, the ladies on and guys like Zarv Dating on, SB Dating is pretty cool. And we've been able to help a lot of people out in the process of doing so.
Somebody said, "Be real, we hate on women that is a narcissist." Look, valid point. Narcissistic women are very common nowadays, and every time I hear that topic get brought up, you always hear women call their exes narcissists. My ex was a narcissist. I'm a victim of narcissism. And what always jumps to mind immediately is like, well, is it possible that that's just the type of man you're attracted to? It's impossible that every one of your exes was a narcissist. And if he was a narcissist, why were you with him to begin with? Why were you attracted to that type of man? Narcissistic women are becoming very common now, and I'll tell you why. If you look up the personality disorder that is narcissism, it's people that have a grandiose sense of self-importance. They think in their minds that they're very important. They seek validation. They gaslight people. They tend to belittle other people, all with the intention of increasing their own power. And you tell me who does that more. Do men do that more or do women do that more? So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's about egos. And what kind of ego do women have? A lot of women out there have is that they think their shit doesn't stink. Yeah, I said it. It may not sound great, but it's what it is. They think their shit doesn't stink. They think the world revolves around them. And that's not the case. And it's something that men have to open their eyes to and not feed into that BS, because when men feed into those egos, I mean, just by liking a post on Instagram of these women in their bikinis, basically showing off their goods for sale, I think that's something that men should avoid doing. Commenting, I still can't believe there's guys that comment on photos nowadays of women that they don't even know they exist. That's why we want these men to build their self-worth, but in feeding the egos of these women, they're inadvertently taking away from their self-worth, right? And their self-respect. So I think that's something that, hey, focus on yourself, build yourself, and it will come to you. Build it and it will come, as they say. So there's also another thing that's ruining dating is a lot of challenges mentally, right? Mental health. What do I mean by that? Anxiety. So as we said before, there are men that can't go out and talk to women, right? Because they're scared. And with one side of things, yes, we get why there's guys that are scared of talking to women, because they don't want to deal with rejection. They don't want to deal with just being called the creep and all the other things that come with getting rejected by a woman. Because if you're being called the creep, if you're being told to leave me alone, if you're being told that, you're annoying, or, possibly being called the cops, call the cops on the guy that's going up to talk to you just to have a conversation, then I can see why there's guys that are going to be anxious before talking to a woman, because he may like what he sees, but then when he talks to her, whatever she says to him ain't going to be what he likes most of the time. But I guess
approaching is a traditional practice, right? I mean, in our parents' age, grandparents, and any other time in history, that was traditional dating. You went up to a woman, whether it was at a bar on the street, in a store, you introduce yourself, and it was like socially acceptable. And I don't know why it changed, but now that's where you started getting that, like, oh, this creep came up to me. Look, I'm sure you guys have seen videos, and this is another weird one where women will wear very tight, revealing like pants at the gym, bend over and do squats, and then put some guy on blast on their Instagram saying, "Look at this creep that's staring at me." And like, I forget who it was, Joey Swole, that started
Joey
reacting
Swole.
to these videos
Yeah.
and like putting it like what the hell are you doing? Like,
Yeah. Shout out to Joey Swole. He puts people on blast because why are people getting offended when they are filming themselves in the gym and then somebody gets in the way or all this crap? It's just ridiculous. So I don't see why people act the way they act.
somebody said women have higher standards now. That's been the message for at least the last 5 years. That's what I see on the female side is we have higher standards, we have higher standards. But it seems like those higher standards aren't really working, and I'll tell you why. Marriages are at an all-time low. Divorce is at an all-time high. Um, the birth rate is at its lowest it's been in history. And a lot of these women, no disrespect, but have high body counts and they're still single or they're divorced, multiple kids. It goes on and on. So it's great to say you have high standards, but I think you also have to have realistic standards, is all I'm saying. I'm not here to preach to women what they should like or not like, but clearly whatever standards they have, it's not really working for most women.
I think the high standards are really keeping men away from those women because women are keeping those men away from them. They want high standards. They want a guy that makes a lot of money. They want a guy that is 6 foot tall or higher. They want a guy that is taking care of his smell, his breath, his hair, and you can make a whole list of them. So she's going to cut out the majority of men that she sees, which is why the numbers are the numbers, that by 2030, about 50% of women are going to be single and childless. So, I mean, if women can change their unrealistic standards, because what they are is unrealistic, because there's more average men than high value men out there. It's just what it is. Obviously, we want all the guys to strive to be the best they can be, without a doubt. And that's going to help the women out there, whether they complain or not, that, we're hating on them and whatnot, which is not the case, but we're actually helping men get better for them.
Somebody said their standards are superficial. I agree. Like I said, great that you have high standards. I'm happy for you. But if I were to ask you to describe those standards, chances are you would focus on the financial side of it, right? It would be more about like the guy makes this much and buys me this and provides that.
It's all about the money.
And my challenge to that is that's great for you, but what are you going to do to attract a man like that? And how are you going to keep that man happy? And how are you going to what's your relationship going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
And
What's that relationship based on? Because if it's just your standards, that's not going to work.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think if women really adjust their standards, I think they're going to have much more success. But I think women are not willing to make that adjustment. They're not willing to settle. They're just going to be like, oh, I'm okay with my cats and dogs or my cat and my dog, or some women may have like 10 of them, 10 cats. They're okay with that shit. I mean, if they're going to be okay with it, then later on when you're in your 50s and 60s, don't have any regrets, because that's what you chose. That's what you wanted as a woman.
To me, a woman who has high standards, if I were to describe that, it would be a woman who's very selective with who she sleeps with.
Yeah.
Okay? I see this all the time. Oh, I have high standards, but I slept with 100 men. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
What kind of high standards are those? Like, you slept with 100 men, 500 men, whatever it is. Look at what's the crazy one that slept with 1,057 men? Bonnie Blue. Like, you don't have any standards when you're sleeping around with a bunch of men. I mean, come on.
To me, a woman with high standards is more a woman with high values. She values family, monogamy, kids, that type of a lifestyle. If your standards are strictly finances and traveling and designer bags, that's not really standard. That's just more like superficial fantasy that you're trying to catch.
Yeah, that's something that
And a lot of women are getting it, but they're getting it through sex work.
Sadly,
or OnlyFans.
Sadly enough, OnlyFans is a big one. I mean, we personally know some women in OnlyFans, and hey, do your thing, but it's fast money, and that ain't gonna last too long. Looks don't last forever. So you have to find some sort of backup plan to that later on when you're in your 40s and 50s, because do women maintain their money well? I mean, I think that most of them make money and they spend it. They don't even invest it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why that is. It's because, look, let's be real. Men don't really give a shit about, like, most of us don't give a shit about buying designer clothing. Like, I'm like a jeans and a black t-shirt type of a guy. Like, I don't need luxury shit.
Simple, easy.
Some of us, you might be into cars, things like that. But, like, when you compare apples to oranges, we're not big spenders on shit like that. We spend money on, like, maybe our hobbies and things that are important to us. I'm more into saving and investing my money. I know everyone's different. But women tend to like to spend more overall, and I think overall they're not as good as budgeting their money. What's the most common complaint from married men is that my wife spends all my money. It's kind of like a joke, right? So,
100%. By the way, can't even talk right now. Boy underscored the Sigma, the underscore Sigma 123. Thanks for the gift. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, Shotgun Flame 9406 is saying I'm in the blue color, man, I can't talk tonight. I'm in the blue collar world, and most of my buddies make a good living and single. It's just no good women out there for the mentality is awful. Yeah, I mean, sadly enough, do women respect blue collar men?
Sadly, no. And the ironic thing is that if you look up channels that talk about the economy and like the future of like jobs, you guys know that AI is going to take over most jobs, and it's already starting to happen. A lot of big companies, Amazon, Verizon, they're laying off tens of thousands of people right now, and this is just the beginning. It didn't really even start yet.
Scary shit.
I see more and more videos where they're saying that the future millionaires are going to be the blue collar workers, the plumbers, the electricians, the roofers, the framers, those type of jobs, because AI can't replace that. To a certain extent, I'm sure it can. Anything that can be automated, it can be, but most of the jobs will never be replaced by AI. You can't have AI come and fix your toilet at 3 a.m.
That's true. I mean, I think if you're in the construction, building, electrical, plumbing, you're out there dealing with, those things where you can't just get a degree and go and work a basic job and it can be replaced. I think if you're doing blue collar work, that's to be respected for sure. 100%. Without those men, I mean, the building that we're sitting in right now, the lights that are on, the water that we use, that where everybody is right now, what they use, it's because of those hardworking men, and that's to be respected. And those guys make a lot of money. So I don't know why women complain, because maybe they come home dirty and shit and they smell a little bit.
It's because of how society has painted blue collar workers, right? Everything's got to be glamorous, designer, fancy, clean. Look, all my friends that do HVAC all make six figures. They all bought houses. They're all killing it financially. But unfortunately, I guess a lot of women just don't like the stigma of like you said, my guy's dirty. He drives a truck. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't match their. It's far more attractive to say I'm a surgeon, I'm a doctor, I'm a dentist.
That's
true. Those type of jobs, because it's
true.
Clean cut suit. So I think it's funny. Like I said, a lot of these blue collar workers are clearing six figures easily, and the longer they stay in the game, they're gonna really kill it financially, and they're gonna lock in retirement. They're gonna be financially free by the time they get to retirement age, while most people are struggling 9 to 5 till, like, they're saying that now people might work till they're like 70 years old. You guys all know how the economy's going. Interest rates, housing prices, car prices are at an all-time high.
100%. And just Jordan's Mervold 5905, or just don't date a bimbo. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to take a bimbo seriously. You want to have some fun with her. She's down for it, recreational use only. But to take seriously, not a bimbo, because she's not going to respect those blue collar men, those jobs where you really have to work hard. And I think all guys really do the best they can in whatever career they're in, blue collar or not. They really, I see these, and both men and women in this case, these Amazon drivers just running around up and down and delivering, and they get paid, pennies.
Just really quick, if you guys don't mind, go in the comments and just put where you're from, city and state. I'm just curious where you guys are from. We're in Jersey, by the way. This is where we were born and raised. We're in North Jersey. Just want to see where everyone's from.
Jersey in the house. Where are you guys from? Give you guys a chance to say where you're from. A lot of comments coming in. Thanks, guys, for commenting, contributing. Really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be bringing more women on. we're going to be doing more lives like this where we're interacting with you guys. We'll definitely highlight more. There's a lot of comments that come in. So when I say, super chat something in, that way we can specifically highlight your comment. It's not to, have you donate or anything like that. But of course, if you want to support, we really appreciate it. We're really grateful. And, we've taken this to where we've taken it. And we can't wait to take it further. All right, Texas and what from NYC, currently in Texas. Okay, NYC, we're close to you. And Catherine Tobar 1225. Hey, if you are up for being a guest, I think sounds like a lady's name there. If you're up for being a guest, we'd be happy to have you on. Arkansas. Very cool, very cool. New York City, but live in Georgia. I've been down there to Savannah, Georgia. Cool. Yeah, it's nice interacting with you guys. I mean, we're here, we're building the following up. We come here with a purpose, even though, our ultimate goal, we've said it before, let's get to the 100,000 subscribers. But really, we want that because we want it to be a positive impact, make a positive, man, I can't talk tonight. Make a positive impact to as many of you guys as possible. A lot of stuff may be common sense, but hopefully there's some things that we're waking you guys up to that maybe you didn't realize prior to watching Rob and myself, the podcast guys. We got somebody from North Dakota. One of your guys is from...
I had a friend that was stationed at an air base in North Dakota.
Yeah, Missouri. All right.
Conservatives, I am. Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
What do you say? One more topic? One more quick topic?
Yeah, let's get into one more topic. If you guys have, I know, again, comments rolling in, but if you do have something that you want to highlight, we'll, definitely super chat it in and we'll give it 100% attention. But something that I wrote down here, of course, about the nice guys, right? Nice guys finish last. Why don't women like nice guys? So do you want to take it away on, one reason why that would be the case?
So I'll start by saying this. We recently had a guest on, attractive woman. She was into like fitness modeling. And I asked her directly, I was like, is it true that women aren't attracted to nice guys? And she kind of stopped and thought about it for a second. And she goes, honestly, I think nice guys are just ugly guys that are trying to hook up with women. And I was like, holy shit, I've never heard it really put that way. That was her answer. Like, she cut me off and just said that straight up. So I was like, yeah, I could see that being a thing. Why do women not like nice guys? And I think there's a few key things here. Let's envision a typical nice guy. A typical nice guy is going to be a people pleaser. He's going to try to say and do the right things. Anytime a girl needs help with something, a ride, a favor, he's going to do it for her. And the reason women aren't attracted to that is because women generally like a challenge, for one. They want to be the ones that have to. I know women are going to hear this and go berserk, but I just know this is true. No woman wants a guy that's too easy. If she doesn't have to work for it and she sees him as less than, he's easy to get, no woman wants that.
Don't give their secrets away now.
Let me ask you guys a question. Why do some women like to date married guys? Because they're pre-selected. She could date the nice guy. Why doesn't she want the nice guy that's single and is up her ass all day and text her every day and like is at her every begging call? Because It's not attractive to her. Women like a challenge. Nice guys don't present a challenge, for one, and two, they don't create any emotional stimulation. It's just nice.
Yeah, and I think the insecurity and neediness they give off, trying to please her. Oh, let me please her all the time. Oh, I'm going on this date with this woman. Let me bring her flowers. Let me bring her cookies or chocolates. Let me try to win her over. And it just doesn't work that way, fellas. So I think that if you are, really being yourself, you're confident, you're doing the manly things that need to be done, I think that in itself is going to win her over. But if you're trying to buy her, women can't be bought. Women and, ladies out there, if you want to, you can agree or disagree with this, but can a man just buy you flat out? Can they buy your love? I mean, for women that are solely about money, sure. But for the real women out there, I doubt that men can just please a woman just to please them, to be eager to please them, to do what everything that they want to make him super happy. It doesn't work. And yeah, Catherine Tobar 1225. Yeah, hell no, she said. So, it really takes real men out there doing real things and going about it in a confident way, not in an awkward, let me give her all this validation kind of way. I think if you're confident and you do, you're yourself, and she's going to like you the way you are based off of that.
And something I wanted to say really quick, I think where a lot of guys misinterpret this topic is they hear, oh, okay, so women don't like nice guys, so that means I have to be like a scumbag and like treat them poorly. And that's not the point. That's not how that works. Just don't be an overly people pleasing person. Number one, if a woman's not attracted to you and she clearly doesn't have any interest in dating you or hooking up with you, there is nothing you can do to gain her sexual interest in you. That's where the nice guy thing starts. It's like, as guys, we have this belief that like, oh, well, maybe if I'm nice to her and kind of prove myself to her, she'll eventually find me attractive. No, women know right from the get go when they meet you, like give or take if they might possibly hook up with you or not. So that's number one. And you should only really be that nice to somebody that you're already having a sexual relationship or a relationship with to begin with, in my opinion. If you're not dating and she's just a girl or you met, there's really no reason to overly please. Texting, same thing. One or two texts, every here and there. You don't want to be texting all day long because then it kind of sends a signal like this guy's always available. He has nothing better to do.
Right.
He's been texting me for the last hour. So women take this type of shit into consideration and they read it.
A guy that's got shit going on and he's accomplishing shit, he ain't going to be texting you throughout the day. He's going to be getting that shit done. And then you're going to see that. You're going to be like, wow, this is the guy that really goes out there, makes it happen, and I'm attracted to that. Women get attracted to that type of thing. So, just real quick, shout out to go up here and see if I could find it. Oh, Glenn Paul 3271. Thanks for your service. You're really appreciated. I'm 64 miles from Minot Air Base and 140 miles from Grand Forks Air Base. Oh, I don't know if you are in the service or not. Maybe I made a mistake, but if you are, thank you for your service. And then JD-OM5G4, even though we've seen that you're hating on us, yes, we agree that a strong woman needs a strong, ambitious man, not a yes man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Women don't want a guy always saying yes, 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 yes to her because she's going to realize that she can walk all over the guy.
Mm-hmm.
She could take advantage of the guy at any given moment in time, and he'll fall for it. And that's where men come in for you guys, for some of you guys saying that, oh, you're not. Okay. Wasn't sure. But for you guys that say, well, let me do everything that I can to please her, men, that doesn't work. That really doesn't work. So, and women on here, we had a woman say that. Hell no, it doesn't work. So make sure you do what you can to show confidence, to show strength. And in doing what you do, you show that properly. She's going to recognize that. She's going to respect you for it.
Another reason why I think the whole nice guy, people pleasing thing doesn't work is because it sends the signal that you are going out of your way to try to win her over. That's like the simplest way I could put it. If you're like really obviously trying to like please her and go out of your way to like get her attention and make her happy, it sends a signal that you are desperate and you have no other things to do and no other women in your life. And women don't like that.
Yeah.
Women, I don't think they talk about that enough, but it's the truth. Women don't want. There's that thing where people say like, oh, when I'm in a relationship, women want me, but when I'm single, nobody wants to talk to you, and that's a real thing. Women like pre-selected guys, because it's a challenge, and there's that social proof that you have other women in your life. If you have nobody in your life and you're constantly texting her, that's not going to end good. And this is how we're not going to even get into this topic because we could do a whole episode on this alone. But like the friend zone thing, right? It starts off by being a nice guy, being overly available, and sure enough, you will end up in the friend zone.
100%. If you just basically kiss her ass and you make her your world, which women like to say, oh, he's my world. I love him so much. if men go out of the way to make her his world and they're not even really that serious, then he's going to be the one pretty much shooting himself in the foot because of it, because that's going to negatively affect his chances of dating her, getting her in bed, anything of the sort. And also that fake kindness. What's the fake kindness? Being nice to her and really kissing her ass to eventually see if she'll sleep with you.
And she knows that.
And she knows it. She'll sniff it out. She'll look you in the eyes, and she doesn't even have to tell you. She'll be like, yeah, I know this guy's just kissing my ass to sleep with me. He's just being super nice, and I'm not going to do it because it's a turnoff.
This is why I think overall you just have to, it's okay to be nice, obviously, but you have to do it in moderation. And that's how you're going to keep the interest and the attraction. Because if you just throw all your cards on the table right out the gate, it's going to kill the attraction. And she might not even find you attractive to begin with, and you're just going to spend money and time and end up disappointed. And she'll end up hooking up with a guy that she really is attracted to. So I'll end it on that note.
Yeah. And just to go backtrack for a second, it's not don't be nice. It's be nice, but be a gentleman, right? Don't kiss her ass. Don't make her everything, because at the end of the day, she's not everything, right? If she disappears, she goes and starts dating some other guy, you were trying to date her, and she goes off to another guy, then what are you going to do with yourself? You're going to fall apart? No, you got to keep yourself together and move forward. That would be that result. So don't make her your world. Make her a small part of your world. And then as you get more serious with her, of course, she'll become a bigger part to contributing to your life in a positive way, just like she's going to expect you to contribute to her life in a positive relationship, romantic type of way that she'll like. So what do you think? We'll start closing it up here. So we'll be back, guys. This isn't the only live that we're doing, but we definitely went a bit. Oh my gosh, that's why we have to end it, because I'm losing my touch here. But we went about an hour, 20 or so minutes. So definitely we'll be back. Subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have women on the show so they can debate against us. You want them to say you're wrong? Well, we'll have them come on and try to challenge us. We're happy with that. We're happy to have women come on, challenge us, and we'll challenge them back, and we'll let them know the facts. We'll let them know what we think as well. We're also going to have Czar of Dating on. And again, we're kind of just starting. We're building up, even though we've been doing this for over 2 years, but we've been building little by little. At first, we started with the shorts. Then we went to full videos, just Rob and myself. And then we started bringing on the guests just a little over a year ago, right?
Yeah, correct. We started bringing on guests about a year ago. Yep.
So any ladies that want to come on, hit us up. You know, we're the podcast guys, but we're down to earth. You know, we're not going to be out here trying to show off or be full of ourselves or anything. We're just here to help people, help you guys. We're keeping it real. We're chill. And that's a fact. So definitely follow us on, all platforms. So we are on, I said it at the beginning, but I don't think everybody was on at the beginning. We're on YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Facebook. We're going to fix up the Facebook a little bit, but we're on Facebook, Spotify. If you want to listen to us at work, check us out there. But mainly subscribe to the channel. Help us build on here, because if you help us build up, we can do more. We can bring more people on. We can get more people to help us build the show up a little bit more. Yeah, we really appreciate it. So thank you guys. Appreciate all the comments. Some of them were hilarious. Some of them we don't want to say, but some of them were very useful. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. All right. Boom, boom, boom.